You're listening to the Positivity Hour podcast, hosted by Darshaun Smith. Strap in and buckle up, and let's get straight into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Positivity Hour. I'm your host, Darshaun Smith, and you're watching episode 231. Tomorrow, May 31st, 2026, I turn 2025, okay? Not 2025. I'm not some alien. I just turned 25. But yeah, this podcast is going to be nice, short, and sweet. I just got a few things I want to tell y'all to recap, my quarter century on this earth. Today, though, is Saturday, May 30th, 2026, so it's the day before. You've already watched the intro. This is the conclusion of the getting you into it, so all the fake ones are out. Rest of y'all, come on, let's talk. So, it's my birthday, okay? I'm 25 years old, okay? That's 300 months. That's 1,300 weeks. That is 9,131.25 days, okay? That is 219,150 hours. I can keep going, okay? That's 13,149,000 minutes or 788,940,000 seconds, okay? Long story short, that's a very long time, okay? In the grand scheme of things, people who live to their, 80, 90, 100, whatever, it's not that much. But, when you think that, hey, the average lifespan is 75, 80, and I'm 25, I'm a third of the way through my life. I'm optimistic, so I say quarter of the way through. That's why the song I'm going to put out here soon is called Quarter Life Recap or Quarter Life Crisis or whatever. But in that song, which I'm going to be doing for you today, the podcast viewer, I break down some of the trials and tribulations I've experienced throughout my life and how literally every decision I've ever made in my entire existence has made me into the person you see before you. Okay, so now that we got that birthday segment out the way, let's admire this airplane just ruining the audio. I forgot to turn my mic on denoise, so whatever, you're just going to hear it in the background. Because time marches on. That's one of the points I wanted to talk about. Obviously, I know this. I'm not too delusional. I understand that, whether you keep up with the times or you try to live in the past, doesn't matter, what your situation is on this world. If you're rich, you're poor. If you're, your money's up or you're broke, okay? There's a difference between broke and poor. I've talked about that previously, okay? Keep your mind sharp, ladies and gentlemen. Either way, time marches on, okay? Death is the great equalizer, and we are all inching second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, month by month, year by year towards it. And what we do with the time we have, which is an undisclosed amount to begin with, defines us as a human, okay? And funny enough, there's a concept that's really been on my mind lately. I forgot the name, but I literally had to learn it again. I was on Google looking through TED Talks, all of this to see if I can find it, and I did. It's this concept called the spiral of life. It's the concept that, yes, we acknowledge time is a pretty linear. It just keeps marching forward. But how we experience it is a circular motion. It's a spiral of life. You experience similar, if not the exact same situations time and time and time again. But as you get older, you have more perspective. You have more wisdom. You have more insight on how to deal with it. And that concept right there, the spiral of life, completely encapsulates everything that has happened so far for me in 2026. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, I've lost some weight, I've gained some weight, I've had some, positive relations, I've had some negative relations, okay? I've shot for the stars and I've ended 6 feet under, okay? I've done it all. I've experienced the whole range of human emotions this year already, and we're not even halfway through. I'm still 24, I'm not even 25 yet, but I say literally all that to say, it's a great day to have a great day. And I can say that confidently because I have lived what I'm living right now before. Think about my business. I started my business 4 years ago. I've been circling back on what am I offering? Okay, how am I going to deliver it? How do I make a good customer experience? Okay, I got the newbie gains, some people in the door, a little money coming in. Okay, things are great. You think you're finally out of that loop, but then you just are up another floor. And now you're how do I scale this? How do I, get more more people to see what I'm doing. How do I do all of these things? Okay, that's just one example. Could be with the cars, you know, I had the Impala, then I got another Impala, then I got another Impala, and now I got the Blazer, okay? You know, they all have their maintenance issues. The Blazer, you know, it really took it out of me this year. It needed some tires, it needed some, you know, engine work. Luckily, it was covered under warranty, a good chunk of it, but I'm not gonna lie, a lot of money still left in my bank account, and that's definitely something I've experienced before. And how I deal with it is, you know, obviously different because I'm not younger, where I wasn't like working a job so I couldn't make more money. You know, I wasn't able to drive to the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and see that, you know, nice red Porsche drive by and feel inspired being amongst these people in these multi-million-dollar homes. Currently, I still am in Cedar Rapids. I'm kind of like on the border, but definitely just like on the outskirts of town. So if you know where I am, comment it down below, but it's not that deep. I say all of that to say, you know, not to waste any of your time, because I want to be precise with this. I want to just get the point across. The point I'm trying to make here is that your life is what you make it. And I make what I want to see. Okay, now that's a lyric coming out in another song. But seriously, your life is what you make it. And I've been able to, if I'm lucky to see tomorrow, you know, I literally would have been able to see 25 years on this earth. I've seen, you know, multiple presidents. I've seen, you know, the second George Bush, you know, Obama, and Trump and Biden. I've seen 4 presidents in my 25 years on this earth. You know, I've seen, you know, economic recession to like the booms of the 2010s and all of that. And now we're hitting the AI bubble and things are not looking great. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot. I've not seen it all. I don't know it all. But what I do know is that your life is what you make it. And we live a life where we constantly spiral back upon certain events, certain topics, certain ways of thinking, and it's up to you to choose how you want to go forward with it, okay? And for me, luckily, I've been able to do a lot of growing and developing by asking myself the big question. Not the big questions, just one question. Why? Why do I feel like that? Why do I think I can't do that? Like, why can't I do that? Or I guess is something I should ask myself before I ask, why do I think I can't do that? Because there's an awareness that comes with it. Like, ask yourself that question. Why? Why do I want to drive this car? Why do I want to live in a place where there's houses and you have 10-acre lots minimum, you know? Why is it that I want to enjoy nature and breathe the fresh air and get bothered by the bugs without the bug spray? You know, how you answer these questions, how you ask questions in life, you know, and more importantly, some questions, ignorance is bliss, how you choose to omit certain information from your brain shapes you and your existence. And, you know, like I said, quarter century in, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. So I'm just here to, you know, pat myself on the back. Shout out John Larkin, New Wave Performance, for the merch, the hat, the shirt. I need to get some sweatpants and some Crocs, John. Hit me up. I'm just messing with you. But hey, side note, we're about to start John's podcast back up, so look alive for that. No timeline on that, but we're talking about it, so look alive. And yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, wanted to keep this podcast nice, short, and sweet and to the point so that you could get in and get out and get what you needed, okay? Like I said, moral of the story, your life is what you make it. I've had a lot of growth this year simply just because I've asked myself, why? I've asked myself, like, how did that come to be? Like, how did they do it, okay? Like, why do I think I can't do that also? Like, what does that actually look like? All of these questions and more has helped me elevate myself to the point where I love myself. Elevate myself to the point where I feel like I'm confident in my abilities with this camera, with the ability to talk to people on the phone, or drive to somewhere and just pull up like this and, you know, express a point to the camera. Obviously, I got a lot of work to do, but you get the point. So make sure you like, subscribe, unsubscribe, hate, comment, follow, unfollow, share, or report. I don't care what you do. Just make sure you're being yourself at the end of the day. Try and stay positive and make today count, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 25 years old. I made it, okay? Quarter life crisis averted, quarter life recap over. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. I'm gonna go take a few more pictures of myself so I can have something to post tomorrow. I already have a few, but you'll see if you follow me on Instagram and all that. So yeah, thank you for your time. These bugs are chewing me up, so I need to get out of here. Deuces, and I'll see you around. Faded black, baby. Woo! Yeah!
we capture moments.
I'm in my G'd up zone. I'm about to get it in, kick your feet up, home. Days turn to weeks when you're always on the grind all night. I got my re-up back. I'm about to get it in, I'll be right back.
Nate, high lows to those who don't know the name. And G'd up, yup, that's the only thing I claim.